Hello everybody, what's going down? My name is Sonja Marie with Wordlife Astrology, and welcome to this beautiful God-given Monday. It's June 24th, 2024, and time is an illusion. I hope you're convinced of that because it's moving quickly without any explanation, that's for sure. And I pray that you are doing all that you can do with the time that you are given. That's for sure. Hey, what's going on? I hope you had a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Let me make one little quick announcement. Well, a few of them. If you are coming back, thank you. I appreciate your support. I really, really, really do. You are the reason why I come back and do these weekly rundowns. So thank you for showing up. And if you happen to be new and you just stumbled upon my face and my page, welcome. What we do over here is talk about astrology on a weekly basis that pertains to all signs. And it's done in a spiritual kind of down to earth kind of Sonja Marie kind of way. So hopefully you like this information and it will encourage you to subscribe, to comment, and share this information with people that you think it would resonate with them as well. That's one announcement. The other announcement is that my one-woman show, Free Bricks, oh my gosh, it introduced 2 new songs, and I want y'all to get down on it if you feel so inclined. I See Stars and What is available on all your music streaming apps right now. Take a listen and come back and tell me what you think and leave it in the comments below. I'd appreciate that thing there. You ready to get started with the week? Let's do it. Do it. So today being Monday, it starts off kind of easy. With the moon being in Aquarius, everyone's emotions and our reactions seem to be a little aloof and or detached, or at the very least sticking to the facts. The emotional part of us, that's right. Our emotional ability is saying, I don't want to react. I don't want to get all in my feelings, not unless I absolutely know. So that's the vibration of today. The moon, however, is trining Jupiter. Jupiter, as we know, is in Gemini. Like I said, the moon is in Aquarius, and Gemini and Aquarius love one another. Here's the deal about that, though. If we are in this aloof state, emotional state, in a detached kind of way, looking for the answers, the ideas, the opportunities to be a really good humanitarian, to enlist our help and our knowledge to people who need it, in situations who need it, it can actually garner some blessings. That's Jupiter's job. So when that moon is sitting nice and right with Jupiter, it's saying, yo, you want to be kind to people, sort of aloof and detached, but sticking to the facts? Well, let me bring the blessings. Let me bring some information. Let me bring some contracts. Let me bring the people. Let me bring the conversations that can better you today. At the very least, help to expand your mind and how you think, or ideas that are coming. You go, ooh, I never thought about that. Maybe this is the day where you can say that and expound on the ideas that are coming in hot and fast, because there's a lot of them, but only pick 1 or 2 or 3, whatever you can manage. Remember, you're human. You can only do but so much. But here comes these wild ideas today. Write them down. Also, that moon being in Aquarius is going to quincunx Venus in Cancer. Yeah, Cancer and Aquarius have a very interesting relationship. The quincunx is an irritation. So with the moon being in, again, Aquarius, saying I want to be aloof, I want to be detached, see the facts, right? Know what I know. It's not going right and nice with the opportunities to love today. This is generally speaking, okay? So today, if you feel like you want to give some affection, you want to give some love, you want to actually impart some money, or if you want to induct some type of beauty ideas or regimens to a person, and they respond like, that's good. I don't know. I'll find something else to do. Please don't take it personal. You may get a little irritated. That's what the quincunx suggests. But don't take it too personal. The moon is about how we feel today, generally speaking. And if we are in a serious note to get some things done, possibly maybe today is not the day to bring the love, to bring the Venus, to bring the ideas of money, if you expect a different type of reaction. You understand what I'm saying? Know that if you want somebody to reciprocate the same type of love you are giving, they may not. Not today. Wait for a couple of days and see what happens. Also today, staying with that thought. Again, it's a thread. With that moon in Aquarius, it will square Mars in Taurus. That's a little hairy because if we stay with the story and you take it personal, that people are not putting their love and affection on you, that's that Venus thing I was just talking about. Now here comes Mars being squared to the fact that you're a little detached. So that means anger can kick in. Mars is about anger, it's about fighting, it's about confrontation, it's about independence, it's about sex. Mars is about fierce reactions and standing up for themselves and other people. Mars, in that way, can react angrily if you feel like, this person is not giving me what I need, the reaction that I want, the information that I am actually enlisting somebody to give to me. So what? I'm gonna get angry. But anger is showing up in a Taurus style, which can look very stubborn, brooding, which can look really punishing. It can look incredibly bulldozing, hence the bull. Like for real, if you allow your anger to get the best of you today, you could possibly be a bull in a china shop. We don't want that going down, okay? So here's the real message for Monday in particular. Please, please, and very please allow people to respond and act and be in their emotions how they need to be. And at the very least, ask questions. Are you okay? Everything good? You need some help? To qualify why they seem a little detached or aloof. Remember, nothing is personal. On Tuesday, the moon is still in Aquarius, so our emotional nature will lean towards the people, to the community, again, being a little aloof and being detached, but at the very least, thinking of a master plan. That moon in Aquarius says, keep your intellect on high. However, on Tuesday, that moon is going to square Uranus in Taurus. So what that looks like basically is that whatever reactions you have towards the community, your friendships, being aloof, being detached, but staying with the plan, right? Emotionally speaking, I need to stay on this plan. That's how you feel. I need to stay on this plan and get it done. This is the strategy, right? The need to change, which is represented by Uranus and Taurus, will be stubborn to do so. Here's the thing, when that moon in Aquarius seems to square another situation, it can come off very arrogant, very aloof. So possibly maybe your emotional reactions on this day, Tuesday, to change, to independence, can come off really arrogant, like I know what I'm doing. I know who I am. I don't have to change and go along with all of y'all changing and trending and doing this and doing that. I'm an individual. I'm going to do what I need to do. And although I support that in every way possible, oftentimes when it's a square and oftentimes when Uranus is in the mix, Uranus says, I'm not waiting for your approval. I'm just going to switch it and change it how I need to switch it and change it. So get over it. Why you want to fight yourself when changes are happening is the real question. And why do you think you know more than the universe? That's a question. I'm just saying, go along with it, boo-boo. Don't fight the change. Here comes Wednesday when the moon is in soft, subtle, passive-aggressive Pisces. This is when the tears might start rolling, but it's okay. The water brings the cleansing, y'all. Emotions are all about cleansing in order to get to the next space and time. For real. Think about that, but I don't want to break that down too tough. That moon in Pisces is going to trine the sun in Cancer. So you better get ready for all the emotions, the affections, the loving ups on, the deep conversations of how you feel on Wednesday. How you feel? What's going on? Talk to me. Come closer. Get cuddly. If you're allergic to affection on Wednesday, you might want to hide. All I'm saying, it can feel soft and supple and vulnerable and manageable in the heart on that day, right? And how we respond and how we lend ourselves to people. Like, get soft that day, extra soft that day. And if there are people around you that is not as soft, be pliable, bend, go around them like water. Oftentimes, We fight because we put ourselves in the fight. Water says when it's not necessary to fight, just go around it. Find another way. That's the attitude and the emotional fortitude that we should have, should being the operative word, on Wednesday, okay? Get into that water field. Also on Wednesday, Mercury will trine Saturn. Mercury being in Cancer will trine Saturn being in Pisces. That's a good deal because at the end of the week, Saturn is making a switch up. So before I tell you about the switch up, Mercury brings communication, ideas, contracts, information, all things heady and intellectual, right? When it trines Saturn, it's lending to Saturn's hardship, lending to Saturn's fear, lending to Saturn's restrictions and limitations and boundaries. So the bottom line is, Mercury, think of new ways in which you can create your boundaries to sustain you. Think of new ways or new information that can come in to help you to expand and to fortify, expand and then fortify. I repeated myself on purpose. Your spiritual doctrines that you've been honing in on for the last year or so. It's important as I get to the end of this week, okay? So remember, what ideas that come up that maybe want to restrict you or ask you to go back into the woodshed and work them out a little bit is necessary. Sometimes when we put things out in the public before it's ready, it'll get smashed on, it'll be incomplete, the bottom line. So with Mercury and Saturn getting together, it's like, think of all the things that you should do in order to keep it right and tight and ready to work and bust through the fears that you need to bust through while your mind is clear about it. Ooh, I hope that makes sense because I felt like I brought you around a merry-go-round on that. But rewind, selector, if it doesn't resonate right away. I'm a poet. There's words between the words. But on Wednesday, the moon in Pisces is going to square Jupiter in Gemini. The moon square in Jupiter is very interesting because that moon, again, it's about reaction. It's about connection with women. It's also about karmic information, but more so it's about emotionality, right? So if we're feeling emotional towards Jupiter in a very unharmonious type of way, we're feeling reactionary, possibly like a victim based on the opportunities and the blessings that are coming in. I hope that makes sense, but let me give you an example. Oftentimes when there are too many options, oftentimes when there are too many ideas and people are talking in a way in which you can't understand, right? Some people react like, I can't handle it. Moon in Pisces. I don't know what to do with that. I'm a victim. I know all these opportunities are coming my way, but am I ready? Are you ready? What are we doing here? Panic. The moon in Pisces wants to panic in a very spastic, kind of elusive type of way based on all the blessings and the opportunities that are coming to it in a Gemini fast kind of mental style. Please don't do that. It's just one vibration going up against the other. Pisces says, I need to take in the information and any information and like osmosis or on an emotional trip, right? Or if I feel it, if it gets in me, so to speak. Jupiter and Gemini is like, here's all the information, decipher it as you can. So that's the challenge, right? The emotions are going up, all this plethora of info that's coming in. The bottom line is, please and very please, take your time. You don't have to be hurried when it comes to dealing with blessings or opportunities or spiritual doctrines or new spiritual ideas that are coming up and around for you. Take your time in it. Moon in Pisces doesn't have to freak out on that day, and we don't have to feel like we're less spiritual or we're less intuitive because we didn't jump on any opportunities or any expansions that are coming down, or we're less happy or less lucky or less blessed. Take your time. Your walk is your walk, and the blessings will find you when it's the right time, divine time. Right? Also on Wednesday, that moon in Pisces will trine Venus in Cancer. Ooh, I like that. Remember the love, express it vulnerably. people won't know what hit them. This is another love day. So the bottom line is, even though the moon is fighting up against Jupiter on the same day, with the moon trining in harmony with Venus, love and beauty and desire and passion, they come together. So stay in the passion. Stay in the watery love. If ideas are coming, write them down and put them down on your desk and say, I'll get back to that when it's time to get back to that. But that moon trining up against Venus feels like a love fest. It feels like all things beautiful. It feels like an easy time. It feels like family getting together at the very least, right? It feels like expansion and worthiness within yourself. Maybe that's a day to self-care, like really get on some self-care mission, or at the very least write it down and say what you want to do soon. Why? Because Cancer energy is all about self-care. It's all about taking care of the mama. The mama got to take care of the mama or else everybody dies. So on that day, how are you taking care of you? Or how are you taking care of the people that you love? Remember that so you're not caught in your head on that Wednesday, okay? On Thursday, the moon will be in Pisces still, and it will conjunct Saturn in Pisces. Check it out. Another aspect where Saturn is being hit before there is an event at the end of the week, right? So pay attention to how Saturn is reminding us to pay attention to it. So when this moon and Saturn get together and they conjunct, here's the last moment before it goes into its own event. Here's the last moment for you to kind of stroke Saturn. Stroke your fears, stroke the lessons that are coming up, stroke your daddy issues from an intuitive, forgiving, pleasing space, an understanding space. And when I say stroke, like really take your time and be easy on you, trying to understand what these restrictions that Saturn has been putting on you, have been asking you to do or asking you to change, okay? Like, for an example, like really be easy on yourself if you've been trying to go to church every Sunday. Let's just stay with that, right? You've been trying to go to church every Sunday, but what you can do, you realize on this Thursday, maybe every Sunday is not necessary for me and or it's not possible. So let me support that and or build on that spiritual understanding with podcasts, with prayers every day, with talking to my ancestors at the altar. You can replace your supposed understandings of what you need to do traditionally for your spirituality. Replace it with something different. With that moon and Saturn coming together on Thursday, is saying, please feel this through. Why? Because Saturn is about to go retrograde, which means you're going to have to see all of this stuff again. So with that moon conjuncting Saturn, it's saying feel right about the restrictions and the fears that's about to come up right now, and know that you can handle it from the inside out because you have your spiritual doctrines in order, because you are connected to spirit and you can hear your ancestors guiding you. This is what they've been plaguing that you do over the last year. That's why I've been talking so deeply about Saturn and Pisces. Are you ready? Also on Thursday, that moon in Pisces will trine Mercury in Cancer. So say how you feel. Feel what you say. Remember to stand up for who you are. This is, Squirrel, oftentimes, I don't know about y'all, but what I recognize is that people really hold back their feelings and hold back saying what they feel for the fear of being judged, for the fear of being criticized, for the fear of not being accepted in the crew, for the fear of, they're going to mess up my money if I say something, for whatever fears that come up. But with this moon trining Mercury on Thursday, it's saying, don't be a punk. And I said that. Don't be a punk about saying what you really feel, about standing up for the underdog, about rescuing people at your work. And when I mean rescue, I mean like sticking up for your coworker, about saying the things that are right from your heart. Not because it's politically incorrect to say some things before you say this and before you do. Man, scratch all that. The bottom line is that if we don't speak up for the heart, love will never be at the forefront of what it is that we do. God can't be on our tongue if we don't speak up for love. Get that? Also on Thursday, the moon in Pisces will sextile Uranus. Ow. So here comes the change, and change happily, I might add. Do that thing. Uranus says be unique, change, do whatever you need to do in order for us to slide where God wants us to slide. I say God, I say spirit, I say higher order, because Pisces is all about higher order. And if that moon in Pisces once hit Saturn, it's like, get it together. But now that moon in Pisces is hitting Uranus, it's saying, get it together spiritually, because change is coming. Because you have to be a rebel in who you are. Because possibly maybe you're going to be the only one in your family that's going to pray. Possibly maybe you're the only one in your family that wants to change, that wants to be rebellious, that wants to do something different. So you got to stand in your spiritual fortitude in doing so. That's going to start on Thursday. If it hasn't already, boo-boo, I mean, I'm just saying. On Friday, that moon turns into fiery Aries, right? We get to know what we know and do what we do and moving in an independent style. That's right, Ram style. Ram energy is very independent. It's very, very forthright. It says what it wants and does what it says, and has a lot of energy. And also Aries energy, especially when it's in the moon, oftentimes we feel like we need to take naps. So don't be surprised if you got to take a break every now and again, okay? Starting on Friday, that moon in Aries will sextile Pluto in retrograde in Aquarius. Are you feeling powerful and bold? Are you? On this Friday coming, let me know in the comments below. And if you are, try something new. Do something easily. Now, here's the deal. When I say easily, because the moon in Aries says, I'm ready. I don't know about you. Emotionally, I'm ready to do this in a hot, fast, easy fashion because I got this. I can do this. That Pluto in Aquarius going retrograde says, okay, be careful. I know we are readjusting our power here, but be careful because we are reviewing our power at the same time, which means that in this walk, for sure, with Pluto going retrograde, but on Friday it's saying in this walk of you readjusting your power structure and who you are, listen intuitively to the adjustments and the changes that you need to make, almost y'all on an hourly basis. No joke. People are exhausted right now. Why? Because we have to be attuned and aware on an hourly, damn near minute basis. Because folks are coming, it's weird right now. Squirrel. People are coming out of the woodwork trying to attack in ways in which you don't see coming. And I'm not being negative. I'm being realer than real, especially those that are staying in the light and minding their freaking business. That's the real. So as we are doing this, we're changing our power structure. We're not responding to people the same way. This is Pluto. As we are doing this, we're trying to recognize how to assert ourselves in certain areas, in certain groups, in certain ways, and friends groups and work groups. We're trying to assert ourselves in different ways, which means we're making ourselves over from a spiritual and an internal space. And then we're going to come into the group a little bit more powerful in a way in which we are not recognized. So on Friday with the moon sextile in Pluto, it's saying you don't have to be recognized in regards to how you're changing your power stance. Just stay in it. Be bold enough in it, but be aware every second, every minute that you take a step, because folks and people and situation are going to try to test and question your new power structure. That's all I want to say. That's a big freaking deal, but know who you are, okay? And don't react to folks. Nothing is personal. On Friday as well, this is something to say. That moon will square the sun. The moon in Aries absolutely squares the sun in Cancer, so be really, really careful because egos start to flare during this time. And especially if it's between Cancer and Aries, it's about caring versus non-caring. It's about being blunt versus you don't care about my feelings, or you're not listening to my feelings, you're not being empathetic. It's about being slow versus being fast. Understand this. And ego starts to come up around this square. Well, I know how to do it. I'm fast. I've done this before, is what the moon in Aries says. I can respond differently. I'm bold. I'm independent. Leave me alone. Where the sun in Cancer is like, well, you're going to have to come back to mama, baby. You're going to need some of this emotion and affection and understanding. So don't let your goddamn ego overrun you on Friday is what it's saying, right? And get your ego out of shape so you can be left out there by yourself and on the cold and bold and independent, but very, very alone. Please don't let that happen. I hope y'all get me. And also on Friday, that moon in Aries will sextile Jupiter in Gemini. Do your best to stay out of that ego space with the moon squaring the sun and utilize Jupiter's blessing, utilize the information, utilize the conversations, utilize the strategies that are coming across, utilize the expansion of your friends group. Go talk to a new friend. Start building relationships with new opportunities that are coming in quick and fast and hot, Gemini style. If you stay in your emotions and how you expect people to respond to you lovingly versus non-lovingly, or oh, they didn't say thank you, or this is Cancer energy, being sensitive about the emotions that are happening as the sun squares the moon. I'm saying don't pay attention to that so much so you don't get caught up in that square and in that anger. Pay attention to this moon sextile in Jupiter. Pay attention to the fact that the information is all around you. Books are all around you. Conversations are all around you. New social groups are all around you. Get hot and heavy and excited and independent in that, as opposed to the emotions, okay? That's Friday. You'll thank me later. On Saturday, here it comes. Saturn is going retrograde until November 15th. I am so sorry for those that do watch me on Instagram. I noticed that I mentioned November 11th, but it's actually November 15th. I got to make that little switch up. Here it is. So Saturn is going retro. And again, y'all know I've been talking about it here and there, dropping little dimes and gems. But Saturn in Pisces is so important. If you look at it from a broad view and look at all the things that are happening in our government, look at Pluto going retrograde, look at systems changing and failing and breaking and literally falling apart. Look at all of these things. And then look at what Saturn is saying. Saturn is saying, I'm trying to teach you how to deal with traditions. I'm trying to teach you discipline. I'm trying to teach you how to be steadfast and hardworking in this very changeable and weird and somewhat maladjusted time. I'm trying to teach you, Saturn is saying, in a Piscean way, how to rely on spirit, how to rely on your ancestors, how to rely on forgiveness, how to rely on deep-seated compassion that needs to come up from your DNA. Like truly, Saturn in Pisces has been working. So now that it's going retrograde, all the things that we've been working on will absolutely come up in some kind of way, shape, or form. The difference about it this time is that we're used to it. We've been faced with it initially over the last year. But if it comes back around like another wave, oh shit, here comes this wave. Well, we'll be able to handle it a little bit differently. Okay, now I gotta pray. Okay, here comes this wave. Now I got to be away from these types of people. Okay, here comes this wave. Now I got to have my boundaries. Okay, here comes this wave. I need to be limited on what I eat or what I do over here. Here comes this wave. I need the information to set me up so I can be connected. You get what I'm saying? We will be prepared this time as it goes retrograde. But as it is going retrograde, you're going to need to know how to prepare yourself spiritually, especially because the world is going upside down in its own way, especially because Saturn, being the ruler of Capricorn being a highlight of what's happening in our world right now, i.e. political structures falling and stuff, like this information is necessary. Saturn in Pisces is teaching us how to deal with Saturn's need to break down old structures and traditions and authority and superiority. So if you're not paying attention to Saturn's retrograde moment saying, get with God, do what you need to do in order to rise above it, you may possibly sink on into it. Coming this November, y'all know what's going down and everything that surrounds that, okay? Ask questions in the comments if you need to. I did my best to really, really emphasize that thing. It's happening. I want you to be safe and I want you to be sure of self. Know who God is within you and work it like a plan. Also on Saturday, the moon in Aries is squaring Venus in Cancer. Ooh, self-esteem issues may come on up. Please watch yourself. Know that you're doing the best that you can do, but that moon in Aries literally is punking that Venus Cancer, soft Cancer. Should I love or should I barrel through situations? Some self-esteem issues may come up because low-key, Aries energy is oftentimes very insecure. Why? I'm glad you asked. Because Aries energy is the baby of the zodiac. And oftentimes it's bold and it wants to do a thing quick and fast, and it's the first person or first energy to jump off the cliff, so to speak. But oftentimes it can be a little insecure about, did I jump right? Did I lead everybody into the freaking fire? I don't know. So within itself, sometimes that insecurity comes off very brash, bold, in your face, like Aries can sometimes be to the 100th degree. That boldness is going to go against love. So if you're trying to output love and people feel insecure, they're going to react bold. They're going to react with confrontation. They're going to react, Moon in Aries, they're going to react with a fight, with a need to be independent. I don't need your love. Okay. Let them pipe down and come on back. And please continue to utilize those boundaries and let them know who you talking to. Remember, Mercury is in Cancer, so let them know how you feel. Also, speaking of Mercury in Cancer, look at this. Sonja's so dope. Mercury in Cancer that day will sextile Uranus. So going along with the same idea that I just had, the reason why we want to say a thing, the reason why we want to communicate about how we feel versus your weird reactions of wanting to fight and be independent. Okay, boo-boo, do your thing. But Uranus is saying we're going to change up this thing anyway. So you can respond. You can get mad. You can feel like I need to love you a little bit more. I need to do that. But Mercury, sextile, and Uranus on the same day is saying changes are happening with or without you. So your reactions are not going to matter. Changes are happening, y'all. Get it right in your head is the real put down on that day. You understand? So if changes are happening, how you going to plan for the change? Have a plan B for your plan C, for your plan D, for your plan Z. Whatever that meant. And then lastly, on Sunday, as we finish this out, the moon will go into Taurus. Yep. And when it does, that moon, the only aspect for that day, will square Pluto going retrograde in Aquarius. So stubborn reaction to destructive change, sometimes things need to blow up in order to move. So the bottom line is, before that, if you don't see the change, the day before that, with that Mercury hitting up Uranus saying, come on, we got to do it. On Sunday, if you stubborn to that change, here comes the blow up. The moon in Taurus is like, well, listen, we do have to change. I don't know how to change. And Pluto in Aquarius is like, well, I'm going to tell you how to change. I've been going retrograde for a little while now, and these are the things that we need to clean out. The moon in Taurus is stubborn to do so. The moon in Taurus says, I don't want to get rid of my friends. I don't want to get rid of certain groups that have garnered me money. I don't want to move. I don't want to do these things that need to be done in order for me to reach my highest. Because I don't know if it's going to reach my highest. It's an unknown. What if I do something different and I fail? What if you do something different and you succeed? So please, please don't take away from your own power on Sunday by not being willing to take the change and the shifts when you're asked to. Okay? We are all doing it. That's all I want to say. It's time. Aren't you tired of being the same old person? Okay, let's pick the card of the week, y'all. You ready? I hope this applies to everybody out there. Success. This character is obviously on top of the world right now, and the whole world is celebrating his success with a ticker tape parade. Because of your willingness to accept the recent challenges of life, you are now or will soon be riding a wonderful ride on the tiger of success. Welcome it and enjoy it and share your joy with others. And remember, all bright parades have a beginning and an end. If you keep this in mind and squeeze every drop of juice out of the happiness you are experiencing now, you will be able to take the future as it comes without regrets. But don't be tempted to try to hold on to this abundant moment or coat it in plastic so that it lasts forever. The greatest wisdom to keep in mind with all the phenomenon in the parade of your life, whether they are valleys or peaks, is that this too shall pass. Celebrate, yes, and keep on riding the tiger. Ashe. It just popped in my mind that is that Saturn placement. Saturn always gives you a reward if you've been doing your job. So here comes the success and here comes a celebration. I pray that you have an awesome, awesome week, everybody. Do your best to be your best for you. Only you, okay? And I'm telling you, your light, and your intention will just shine and glow off your skin. You won't have to say a word. That's word life, that is. Talk to y'all soon. See you next week. Adios.